So solutions. Now that you
Solution.
mentioned,
So I myself created a website, and I've been creating content on this, mca-rescue.com. The premise is you're the captain of your ship, and if your ship is sinking, then you need to, stop the ship from sinking. So even though this isn't going to fix everything, working with an attorney firm that can negotiate a settlement for you, it's going to hurt because especially if you're somebody of moral um, standing and ethics, you don't, even though you're paying ridiculous fees. I've talked to so many people who are like, well, it's my debt and I just don't feel right about, defaulting and settling. And that just shows me, man, good person, and you're getting taken advantage of by this company, and you're still trying to do the right thing, even though they're taking you for, highway robbery. But at the end of the day, the lender gets paid. They just don't get paid that full profit margin. At the end of the settlement, you'll get a letter that says it's paid in full with a zero balance, and that's one way to approach it. Now, if you do have good credit and the loan or the debt is, let's say, less than 500, there is a possibility that you could get access to a term loan or a line of credit, not SBA, because like I said, that
they
door
stop.
has closed.
Mhm.
Yep. And you could potentially, maybe if you only have one or two max, that you might be able to restructure that yourself by getting approved for something better, and then paying that off, right? But you'd have to have good credit to be able to do that. But if your credit's not good, then your only option would be the restructure. If you defaulted on your own and try to settle it with the client, with the lenders, you have to be very cautious because they will go ahead and give you like a break on the front end. But what they'll do is they'll add it to the back end, and then they'll add additional fees. And before you're paying back double what you owed.
Oh,
Yeah.
sheesh.
That's the problem when you try to negotiate it yourself, is they'll
Ah, okay.
stick you in the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure, we'll
You have
help
an
you.
attorney negotiating it. They'll protect you from that. Um, the downside of it is that the lenders are gonna attack you. They're gonna try to defame you and embarrass you and just really be aggressive to bully you to pay back. That after about 30 days, that kind of settles down, and then because they start getting payment on the settlement, then they kind of leave you alone, and eventually you'll pay it off. In the meantime, what you need to be doing is rebuilding your personal credit. So that's the second step in my rescue, is
Okay.
to rebuild your credit. And of course, I take them through the business credit program, personal credit. If they need repair, I refer them to an expert to do the repair work. But if they need to build, and I can help them build it, and then also focus on building that business credit, so that once they do get out of that MCA debt, if they need money, they have the opportunity and ability to get approved for an SBA or a term loan or a line of credit, or even 0% business credit cards, right? That all are much better solutions than that cash advance. And then the third step is to teach them infinite banking so that they can create their own business banking system. And the big picture long term strategy would be for them to be able to um, be in a position to never have to borrow from the banks ever
From the
again.
banks. Yeah, that's the
Ideally.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the long term goal. Unfortunately, a lot of these people, when they are in this situation, there is no cash flow. But if you can, you know, restructure it, typically the attorneys negotiate it where what's going to happen is you'll immediately start saving between 50 to 80% of
Hmm.
your average monthly cost. Even though you're paying daily or weekly, if you add it up, you'll start saving immediately within about a week to 2 weeks, about 50%. The attorney's fees get added on top, and they divvy that up into your payment.
Oh, okay.
But immediately you'll feel the relief
A relief.
because you'll free up 50 to 60 or 80%,
Hmm.
depending on what they can negotiate. Now you can, okay, make payroll, get back to business, and then hopefully if we build credit and we get things going in the next 6 to 12 months, we can work on better debt as well as your banking system to get you set up with your whole life banking strategy. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that's the long-term goal. Um, outside of that, you know, um, bankruptcy, that's
Yeah.
what's there, right? because at this point you have bad credit. You can't afford to pay the debt. You can't afford to pay anything because it's just
you need a clean slate. You need to restart.
yeah. It's unfortunately, it's really frustrating and sad when I talk to these people and I hear their stories, and just unbelievable.
That's very unfortunate. Well, again, we hope to get this content out there, educate the masses. Those of you that know anyone that might be considering this or they spoke about it, show them this video. We just really did a whole masterclass essentially on this, how to avoid it. There's other options. This is like a last resort. Just the way I view cash advance on the personal side as like a last resort as well.
It's
So
basically a payday loan for your business.
yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would just say kind of keywords to look out for: a factor rate. If there's no interest rate, it's a factor rate. Um, if they're in the documents, nowhere do you see the word loan. If they're not interested in your credit or tax returns or time in business historically, they're just main thing they just want to look at is bank statements, 3 months, 6 months. Red flag. It's a cash advance. They'll call it whatever they have to call it to make it attractive to you. They'll call it, if you're a doctor, if you're a dentist line of credit. If you're a, construction company, it's a construction uh, factoring loan. Or they won't say loan, but they'll call it construction factoring. They use words very loosely just to make it attractive for your niche business. And then recently, there's also now actual lines of credit where they'll give you a 12-month term. So you'll see this in companies like I don't want to say names, but you can look up companies that have a line of credit, and it'll give you a 12-month term in the line of credit.
Okay.
And it'll be basically a factor rate or an interest rate in the line of credit. You have 6 to 12 months to pay back what you borrow. When you pay it back, it replenishes, so you can use it again. So that's why it's a line of credit. But the actual payback term and the cost of the money is still very similar to a cash advance inside of that line of credit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
20+%.
Yeah.
Okay. Whew. All right, folks. Thank you for your time today. And thank you, Sebastian, for jumping in here and teaching us about MCA and the solutions that you have for folks and how you can help them in that process. It's not going to be easy. As you said, it's going to be really hard. You're going to have to come out of pocket even more, right, to get the attorney. But there's ways to structure that service and your service as well to really get out of that trench, right, out of that hole that you're in, and then on to serving people at the highest level in your business. So thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day. God bless. Talk soon.
Thank you.